This is the Vermont Utility Outlook, valid the rest of today, Wednesday, through next Tuesday, October the 13th. Slightly unsettled weather today, Wednesday. This will be followed by a ridge of higher pressure producing dry project weather during the day tomorrow, Thursday. Low pressure system will then work across portions of Canada and drag a cold front through our region. It may trigger some embedded thunderstorm activity, some possible lightning concerns, and briefly heavy rains. The best chance for this would be across the southern four counties of Vermont. Good project weather that will build in with a ridge of higher pressure over this coming weekend, and this should last into Monday. Interestingly, ex-Hurricane Joaquin may threaten portions of Western Europe. No concerns otherwise for eastern utilities. What we have here is an area of low pressure up in Hudson Bay region, putting a little bit of a different flow here. We got the northern branch of the polar jet stream. And then what's starting to show up is more of this El Nino southern subtropical branch of moisture. And this is where most of the heavier activity is currently, with a cutoff low located this morning over parts of Arizona. This is producing some moisture that's in working around and actually supplying some first mountain snows in some parts of northern New Mexico into Colorado, along with some thunderstorm activity. Some of this moisture is going to get caught up and bedded and work very quickly in the northern branch of the jet stream. We'll see this arrive during the day on Friday, and this is what could trigger some moderate to potentially heavy rainfall, brief as it is, and maybe even some thunderstorm activity across the southern four counties of Vermont. Accumulated precipitation over the next 7 days, this is from the Water Prediction Center, shows the main healthy areas really up in the Pacific Northwest, mostly up into British Columbia, Canada, as the Gulf of Alaska is starting to become a little bit more active. And also in the southern branch of the jet stream, the subtropical branch is going to be shooting some moisture into parts of Texas. This is going to be kind of ground zero for this cutoff low to spin up and slowly evolve into some pretty heavy rains for parts of Texas. They could use the rain, wouldn't be a bad thing. Up in the northeast part of the country, well, we're looking at probably anywhere from about a half inch, maybe up to an inch of rainfall. Some indications the European model gives us somewhere around 1.1 inches in some parts of southern Vermont, the Friday rainfall that will move on through. And then we start to see tremendous amounts of dry weather thereafter. So this is valid at around 2 o'clock this afternoon. A little bit of sprinkles kind of work on through. This will be followed by a building area of higher pressure, weakening as it does, and then sliding east of New England. This opens the door for the next weather system to work in on Friday after a pretty decent project weather on Thursday. This Friday system, a little bit more potent. It has some of the moisture that's come up from Mexico and some of the southern jet stream, and involving a little bit more potency here. So as it moves on through, we could see some thunderstorm activity across some parts of the southern four counties of Vermont coming out of New York State. We're not anticipating anything major. This is just going to be a little bit of a lightning concern. As that moves on by, you can see the colder air is not too far from Jay Peak in country. There could be some wet snowflakes in our highest northern Green Mountains, but for the most part, that does stay a little bit to the north of the Canadian border as it looks right now. That weather system then pulls on out. We get into a little bit of a northwesterly flow, kind of a chilly condition that'll set us up for the start on Saturday. And then on Saturday into Sunday, high pressure then arcs across the region, at least a ridge of higher pressure. One weather system in the northern branch of the jet stream works off to the north of us and then exits the region. So we're pretty good through about Monday, as conditions do show better conditions working in, and even a little bit of a warm-up as we head in, it looks like, toward Monday afternoon. Then on Tuesday, we'll have to watch. It looks like a lot of warm air and some tropical air does make it north. And we have this cold frontal system. The two of these are going to combine, making for a little bit more of a harder forecast. And that's at the end of this coming period here. So what looks like is going to happen is we're going to see some juiced up moisture, and then a cold front's going to shift on through. That'll probably be our next chance for any kind of scattered showers and thunderstorms that we'll have to watch. That's not going to be until long about Tuesday into Tuesday night. That weather system then exits, and we get into just kind of off and on these little zippy weather systems here with a little bit more of an active northern branch of the jet stream. And a quick look at precipitable water showing the drier air that works in. This would be valid on Thursday morning. Then we get into a little bit of that moisture that kind of works on through with the cold front on Friday, and then a better weekend, but watch the moisture up south of the Hudson Bay region in this location start to work on through. And it looks like it does moisten things up, makes for a little bit of unsettled, some cloud cover mostly. But overall, we have a ridge of higher pressure that will be lasting into Monday through this entire weekend for good project weather. It's Tuesday we'll have to watch, and these two things start to come together. We have some moisture that works in along a cold front with an area of low pressure, and then also some tropical moisture working in up the coast. A little bit better chance for something there, maybe some thunderstorm activity, just don't know for sure. Fairly low confidence this far out. We're talking, again, next Tuesday. And then that system works on through. It looks like we dry out very nicely thereafter. And looking at temperature anomalies, you can see that a little bit above normal in temperature, but then we cool on down with that next passage of the cold front as we go into Thursday. So a cooler but sunny day for Thursday with good project weather. And then we stay moderately cool, a little bit of a cool down here, below normal in temperature by basically Friday afternoon. That's mostly due to rain-cooled air with the passage of a cold front. And then we have the cooler air filtering in behind it on Saturday. And then look off to the west. Pretty amazing here. We're looking at temperatures basically 20 degrees above normal, almost 30 degrees above normal. Areas north of the Dakotas into Manitoba, Saskatchewan. This is going to be tracking toward us, and it does warm us up as we get toward Tuesday. Tuesday is probably our warmest day we're going to see, where temperatures may actually get into the low 70s as it looks right now. That'll be followed by a cool down, and then we'll see what happens later in the week. Now, comparing 7-day European model 12-hour differences here, you can see that the cooler air is a little bit more aggressive than what it was even 12 hours ago. But needless to say, we're still looking at some warm weather along about Tuesday of next week. Maximum temperature anomalies show a little bit below normal to start out, really for the first 3 to 5 days of this period. But we do warm up. This is part of that warm-up you're seeing working eastward across the country, and near normal temperatures, a little bit below normal. We'll start to see some of that tropical moisture probably cool things down here as we jump 3 days later. And there is that tropical moisture, but temperature is starting to get a little bit above normal as weighted, again, 3 to 7 days out. This centered on Montpelier shows you temperatures today in basically the low to mid-60s, and a cool off for Thursday, though sunny weather. Temperatures more or less in the mid-50s for highs. Then we warm back up a little bit on Friday with the precipitation, though mostly rain-cooled air. That delivers cooler air in the backside with a cold front, so we're talking Saturday being a little bit of a chilly day here. They show temperatures basically not getting out of the 40s. The European model has temperatures more or less in the low 50s. Now, that'll be followed by a possibility of frost for basically Saturday night, Sunday morning, and then temperatures start to rise with that next little warm-up that looks like it centers more or less on Monday and Tuesday of next week. I would not trust these models right here. And now to the tropics real quickly. Looking at the Pacific, we do have a tropical cyclone here. This is forecast to actually head toward the British Columbia coast. Probably will die out and not make it. This is JOAQUIN, and JOAQUIN is interestingly going to take a track toward Portugal. It's going to turn extratropical as it heads north of the Azore Islands, and then take a little bit of a track. Looks like it could threaten parts of really western Spain and Portugal. And just for your amusement, Hurricane JOAQUIN track could be off the coast of Portugal 2 a.m. Sunday morning. That's it from here. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights.